better part of a century, the sound of jazz has been inseparable from the sound of the saxophone. From the music's inception, the innovations of saxophonists have carried it forward. From Lester Young to Charlie Parker, John Coltrane to Ornette Coleman, and beyond. Of course, it's impossible to name all the artists and albums that have made important contributions to the music. This list could be 3 times longer and not come close to covering every deserving musician. But here's a collection of 15 albums led by saxophonists that you should definitely hear. Ken Burns Jazz, the definitive Coleman Hawkins, 2000. This collection by the father of the tenor saxophone focuses on his early career when he was defining the role of the instrument in jazz, featuring the classic 1939 recording of the Johnny Green standard, Body and Soul. The complete Aladdin recordings of Lester Young, 1995. An artist whose tone and style has inspired generations of saxophonists to the present day, the great Lester Young is heard at his best on this compilation of late 1940s recordings for the Aladdin label. Beyond his playing, he also defined the visual look of jazz at its coolest. Charlie Parker, the complete Savoy and dial master takes. The single most influential saxophonist in jazz, Charlie Parker's early recordings from the birth of bebop are heard here in this compilation album of 1940 sessions for the Savoy and dial labels. His genius is on full display in these performances. Sonny Rollins Plus 4, 1956. Sonny Rollins is a musician with an endless well of creativity and a towering giant in jazz history. This album, on the Prestige label from 1956, includes definitive versions of his signature tunes Valse Hot and Pent Up House, backed by members of the Clifford Brown, Max Roach Quintet. Far Cry, 1962. All of multi-reed player Eric Dolphy's albums as a leader are worthy of inclusion, but 1962's Far Cry is a perfect example of his unique artistry. Recorded in collaboration with trumpeter Booker Little, the album blends Dolphy's intellect, adventurousness, and soul in equal measure. John Coltrane, A Love Supreme, 1965. John Coltrane's A Love Supreme is not only a jazz landmark, but one of the monumental artistic achievements of the 20th century. It's an album-length prayer that puts Coltrane's signature sound in its most reverent form and showcases one of the great quartets in jazz history and belongs in every music lover's collection. Wayne Shorter, Juju, 1965. Wayne Shorter's mid-60s Blue Note albums are all notable for their unforgettable compositions and ecstatic playing. 1965's Juju is one of the greatest jazz albums of all time, featuring some of Shorter's most famous compositions, including Deluge, House of Jade, and Yes or No. Stan Getz, Sweet Rain, 1967. Recorded when he was 40, Stan Getz's 1967 Verve release, Sweet Rain, was a highlight of his incredible career, with an amazing band including pianist Chick Corea, bassist Ron Carter, and drummer Grady Tate. Getz burns with a flute-like clarity and a barely restrained intensity. Albert Ayler, in Greenwich Village, 1967. Call it free jazz, or fire music, or the new wave. On this live date from 1967, Albert Ayler was setting a torch to jazz orthodoxy. Each track is an anthem. Part parade ground music, part folk song, part Pentecostal shout. The avant-garde was never so soulful or ecstatic, and this is a great introduction to his sound. Ornette Coleman, Science Fiction, 1972. Coleman was a pure creative artist whose gift for melody and whose bedrock affinity for the blues informed a body of work that is unique in American music. His late 50s recordings put him on the map. They inspired a revolution in jazz. But 1972's Science Fiction announced his second coming as a trailblazer for the new generation. Anthony Braxton, New York, fall 1974. An investigator of sound and a musician who defies category, Anthony Braxton plays 6 different woodwinds on this exploratory album that represents the intensity and restlessness of the early 70s, a time when the jazz mainstream and the avant-garde were allowed to mingle. Branford Marsalis' 1989 date with drummer Jeff Tane Watts and revered elder Milt Hinton on bass is an album of casual virtuosity and exuberant swing. Without a piano to provide a harmonic anchor, the intimate feeling session frees Branford to indulge his remarkable improvisational instincts. Steve Coleman, Curves of Life, 1995. A founder in the 1980s of the movement known as M-Bass, Steve Coleman's influence has been vast. His complex synthesis, which draws heavily from bebop and funk and extracts from the traditional music of Cuba, West Africa, and India, is handled here by an amazing band that can stop on a dime. Kamasi Washington, The Epic, 2015. Over the 17 tracks of Kamasi Washington's breakout album, The Epic, You hear his immersion in the Black church, the sweep of 70s soul, and the spiritualized 70s jazz of Alice Coltrane, McCoy Tyner, Pharoah Sanders, and Billy Harper. It's a mix that feels rooted in an earlier time, while simultaneously sounding like the future. Joshua Redman, Still Dreaming, 2018. Berkeley-born saxophone genius Joshua Redman honored his late father, the iconic saxophonist Dewey Redman, and his iconic band, Old and New Dreams, which featured fellow Ornette Coleman collaborators Charlie Hayden, Don Cherry, and Ed Blackwell. On Still Dreaming, Joshua salutes his family legacy, while showcasing his own innovative playing on the saxophone. And that wraps up our list of 15 saxophone albums you should hear. What are your top saxophone albums? Any artists you'd like to see included in a future list? Let us know in the comments section.
Hey everyone, Terrence Blanchard here. Thanks for watching this video. If you dug it, be sure to give it a like or leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots more videos coming out soon. Last note, if you want to watch some amazing concerts filmed at our venue, head over to our website and check out SF Jazz at Home. Thanks for your support and stay tuned.